This time, a trip to the Philippines for me and Freddie in search of military treasure.
Whoa! That's a bit of me, that is.
Sounds like a deal.
You got a deal?
Oh, I can see some Japanese writing here. I'm on the mark here. If I said £500,
I would be inclined to accept.
I discover Manila's dark history under the Japanese. The standard infantry instruction manual. Every Japanese soldier would have one. The twins restored my super rare Pacific Campaign artillery gun.
We've got no money, no time.
Can't make a silk purse out of sow's ear.
And I get the chance of a lifetime down under.
That's just awesome, mate.
But I've never been close up to one.
Listen, I ain't got a squiddly diddly how much this thing's worth.
I'm Bruce Crompton. Wagons roll! I buy, fix up and sell old military kit. Sounds like a deal? Poos is my right-hand man.
No!
He keeps an eye on the cash.
We've got to make a profit on it.
Ex-para Freddie is my weapons expert.
Come on! There's got no guts in it!
Twins Nick and Phil run the workshop. There ain't a military machine out there they can't fix.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off!
The 2 World Wars did what it said on the tin. Almost every country was sucked into them. They were global. And there's increasing interest in the different theatres of conflict, such as the war in the Pacific, both in the history and the surviving artefacts. But due to the distances involved, there's not a lot of the big stuff in Europe. Big stuff like my newly acquired Japanese howitzer.
Oh, wooden wheels.
Right, this is very rare.
Right.
It's a Japanese heavy artillery piece. To find more relics from the Pacific War, I'm off to the Philippines, where from 1941 to 45 there was fierce fighting between the Japanese and the Americans. For dealers, it's unexplored territory, and I hope to strike gold there. I've got to be honest here, you've never seen anything like this in the UK outside of a museum. But before I fly, the twins need to know what's required to get this gun up to snuff so I can sell it on. It's been touched up, right? Yeah. But it's not been done very, very well. But it's potentially a very, very good new line for us. Now, I want 25 grand for this gun, but I'll only get it if it looks the part. I got the howitzer from a specialist in Japanese militaria, and believe me, they don't come cheap. So, while I'm away the other side of the world, go over it, have a look to see what you can do. The only rule is, don't spend a lot of money. I've got to go and make some phone calls and book a ticket. I can't wait.
OK, right, catch you later. Oh, right. How far do we go with it, though? That's the thing.
Typical Bruce. He's got champagne taste with beer money. Make it look $1 million, just don't spend any.
Bang in the middle of the South China Sea sits a cluster of over 7,000 tiny islands, the Philippines, collectively named after King Philip II of Spain. I'm in the capital, Manila, with Freddie, and it's buzzing. Greater Manila has 12 million inhabitants. It's the most densely populated city in the world.
It's like chaos, isn't it?
You never know what you're going to find here. Bit of ice and your gin and tonic. Manila looks fairly modern, but that's because at the end of World War II, nearly every building was in ruins. It was eventually liberated by Philippine and American troops, but as the Japanese left, they committed horrific war crimes, going into places like schools and convents, murdering hundreds of thousands of people. We're heading out to meet a gentleman who, as a child, witnessed those terrible events. Well, we're going to see this chap called Cheeto. He's been a military collector for years. He's got jeeps, he's got Japanese trucks, he's got all kinds of bits and pieces. The Japanese threw everything into defending the Philippines, and the Americans piled in heavy to kick them out. So there's plenty of memorabilia from both sides, if you know where to look. According to the rumours, Cheeto has a real eye for rare and unique curios. Yeah, have a look at that, mate. That's nice. Ah, Mr. Cheeto, how the devil are you, sir?
It's an honour to meet you.
And
Bruce.
you, listen, I do apologise for just wandering here, but we couldn't see a
That's all
belt.
right,
This
that's
is Freddie.
Nice to meet you, Cheeto.
When the Japanese invaded in 1941, Cheeto was just a kid, but the memory of Japanese rule will never leave him. So what was it like being under occupation with the Japanese?
Very scary. I was a little boy, and I remember every time you pass in front of a sentry, you have to do this right in front of him and then bow. You know, from the waist down. It's not just your head going like that. It's a ceremonial bow.
And that was just to a sentry.
Just to a sentry. Otherwise, he's gonna slap you, or worse.
It's been tough for the Philippines, a Spanish colony, then an American protectorate. But worst of all was the Japanese occupation during World War II. Property was confiscated, the locals were forced into slave labour, families were separated, an extraordinary history which is important to keep alive. After living through all that, obviously you developed an interest in military vehicles, all these wonderful vehicles that you've got. But what I'm really interested in is things that were here during the time of occupation. Japanese items are of really big interest. So if we could go and see these other items, it'd be marvellous.
Come.
Thank you very much. After you, sir. There's bits everywhere here, look. Oh, you've prepared a few things for us to see. Oh, I didn't expect this. I really didn't. Oh, thank you very much for going to the trouble of doing this. My word. Usually I'm knee-deep in mud, having to root round some geezer's cellar. If this is how they do things in the Philippines, I like it. This is exactly what we were hoping to see. Things that you'd collected locally. Oh, straight away, Japanese water bottle. Very interesting. This is the sort of thing you just don't get to see in the UK. Jungle warfare has many unseen dangers. Dysentery and cholera from drinking dirty water can cripple an army as well as any weapon. So in the sweltering 30-degree heat of the Philippine rainforest, canteens like these were literally lifesavers. This is rare because it's got the cork. They put a silk thing over that, look. It's got the belt, it's got the harness, everything. If you do find these things, these pieces aren't with it.
It'll be rotted away, won't it?
Rotted away, but it's really nice. That's something I'd be very interested in. Something else I can see there that I'm really interested in is that, because I can see that this is a map case. That denotes that it's army, it's Japanese. That's very, very nice. The harness is there, the canvas cover on it. Can I open this? Is it okay?
Please.
Can I have a look inside?
Of course.
Oh, I can see some Japanese writing here. Hey, look at that. These are maps.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed.
I'm on the mark here, absolutely. Oh, look at that. That's marvellous. That's a Japanese army map. It's been used. You can see somebody's written out the contours here.
Looking at this, is potentially objectives that they want to take, and then the primary routes to secondary and subsequent objectives.
In the pampered age of the sat-nav, it's easy to forget the paramount importance of a map. In a campaign, it made the difference between defeat and victory. A World War II Japanese map case is a rare thing. One with its maps inside is extra special. But these maps even carry the marks of an actual battle plan. Oh, we're not finished yet?
No.
I don't believe that. I wasn't expecting to see a knife and fork.
own
I've got to see a pair
personal
of chopsticks.
chops.
And you can see that's not been brought out of there for a long time. That really floats my boat, I have to tell you, because the water bottle, I know, you know, it's really nice, it's interesting, it's an early war one. Could you give me a price for the two sets? The two sets of items?
Well, you know, this stuff has been with us for ages,
Yep.
since I was a kid. So I was thinking in terms of something like maybe 800 pounds.
God, I thought you was going to say dollars then. £800. I mean, I'm happy to deal in pounds, that's great, but it's a little bit higher than I was anticipating. You know, I don't see it at 800. I really do see the items, because I've come a long way, it cost me a lot of money, I'm drowning in the sweat here. I think about £450. How's that for you?
It pains me, but I think I'd feel much better if you said 700.
We are going in the right direction,
We
okay?
are.
Let's say £600 to get the thing moving.
Pounds sterling.
Keto, you are
Okay.
an absolute gentleman. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Good.
I'll stick these away and we will move on. This is why, if you're serious about dealing or finding a bargain, you need to travel. I can't tell you how rare this stuff is in Europe. Boys I know back in Blighty are going to be biting my hands off. You've got a nice selection of helmets here. Well, I've got to tell you, straight away I can see what a lot of them are, but I am drawn straight away to that. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a US Navy, yep, controller's hat. It's the first time I've ever seen one. Would you mind trying it on? Let's just see what it looks like, look. It's uncanny. Freddie could so easily be mistaken for a Lego Darth Vader. It does suit you, honestly. It's like syrup. It looks like a mistake back at the helmet factory, but it's not. On the noisy deck of a ship, a telephone communicator needed both headphones and head protection. The answer, if you were in the US Navy, was this super-sized steel helmet. That is of real interest to me. I'm not going to get into a Dutch auction. If I said £500, how would that be?
I think I would be inclined to accept.
That's great.
Good.
I really, really like that. I've never
Good.
seen one. Never
Good.
seen one before.
Good doing business with
Thank you very much. That's great, Cheeto. A humongous Navy helmet might seem like an odd buy, but I've only ever seen these in old World War II footage. It's quirky and there are very few of them about, so that's a good little investment. Right, there you go. Cheeto has offered us a lift in his World War II Jeep, and his style of driving is not one I'm used to.
You all right? When did you pass your test, Cheeto?
Maybe I should be wearing that helmet.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. There you go. There you go. Hey! A quick siesta, I think. Then the hunt resumes for Manila's hidden military treasure. Look at it, it's huge.
There's right on up there. Look.
A ghost town, isn't it?
Yeah, what is
The
that?
metal's about half-inch thick.
Be interesting to see what it's actually hiding.
We were thinking of something like twice that.
$40?
Yeah.
I think more on 50.
Oh, hang on,
50 would
time
be
out
enough,
on
yeah.
it. Who's in charge here?
Bruce has told us to restore his super rare Japanese howitzer field gun, ready for resale.
And we're there.
He said he wants it looking tip-top, but not costing top dollar.
Someone's put this plate in the back here for some reason, I noticed.
Yeah, what is
The
that?
metal is about half-inch thick.
It's definitely not original, is it?
No.
The Japanese Type 91 howitzer was based on a French design. It was a good gun, but only around 1,000 of them were ever built. Down in the Philippines, the Japanese would line them up and bombard the Yanks. It was like a modern-day shock and awe attack. This metal plate is only held on with pot rivets. It's obviously a recent bodge job. Just drill the heads off.
Yeah, it should come out.
Be interesting to see what it's actually hiding. We're crossing our fingers. If it's ugly under here, it will turn a spruce up into a big repair, which Bruce will not be happy about.
It's got wildlife and everything under there.
Japanese spider, look.
You reckon?
Fortunately, it's just more rust that can be got rid of simply by blasting.
That's one really messy job. I'm glad I'm not doing it. Ugh.
Using high-powered compressed air, grit particles blast all the rust, old paint and spiders away, without damaging the original surface.
It's great.
The gun looks brand new, but before any new rust can form, we've got to coat it with primer.
This is all the firing instructions here. There's some on the back of the breech which are basically the firing information. It was actually manufactured in Osaka in about 1931. 1931 in Japanese years is 2591.
That's why this howitzer is called a 91. The Japanese army used the old imperial calendar, which started in 660 BC. They built the gun in the year we call 1931. But if you add 660 years, you get the Japanese date of 2591.
That'll do. This should just hold it for until we can get some paint on it. That's got it. Well, we'll let that dry. Yeah. Get rid of this rest of this flaky paint.
I'm with Freddie, heading to Corregidor Island in the Philippines. I'm off to meet with some local reenactors who I've heard have some interesting Pacific campaign goodies for sale. This small island in the Bay of Manila is perfectly placed to defend the port, which is why it's been fortified ever since Spanish colonial times. Hold in. Thank you. The island was home to about 13,000 American and Filipino soldiers, at least up until 1942 when the Japanese invaded. Look at it then and look at it now. Look at it, it's huge.
Goes right on up there. Look.
Like a ghost town, isn't it? I bet there's shrapnel lying everywhere here. Corregidor was the last outpost of resistance by the Philippine and US armies against the Japanese. The Imperial Army used their howitzers to good effect down here. To avoid capture, the American general, Douglas MacArthur, had to flee the island with his family. He famously said, "I shall return," or "I'll be back," as Arnie would have said. And true to his word, he came back in 1944 and stuck it to the Japanese big time. This particular battery really did get pounded. I mean, look at this door. And you can see that shrapnel going inwards. Look at it. So even an armoured door like that, closed as it was, that was a lot of protection if you was in there.
There's some big old howitzers, haven't they?
One of them would look nice in my garden, I reckon. They're huge. Imagine the noise here. It must have been terrible, mate. Really bad. Look at that. 1890, USA. Yeah, I'm stuck! Oh, yeah, there's a couple of guys up there. Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Bruce, pleased to meet
Hello,
you.
I'm Albert.
Hello, mate. Hello, mate. This is Freddie.
Hi, Freddie.
All right. So, what are you actually doing here?
We're taking some pictures of some stuff we're planning to sell off from our private collection.
Right.
We want to fund our next reenactments.
Helmets are always interesting to me. The cover with the helmet. Could I have a look at that?
Yes, this is actually a tropical issue.
Yeah,
kind of.
that's right.
It's similar to the functions of pit helmet.
Yeah.
And this particular item came from Iwo Jima.
The island of Iwo Jima sits between the Philippines and Japan. The Japanese knew if the Americans captured it, they could use it as a base to invade Tokyo. So the battle for Iwo Jima was one of the turning points of the Pacific War, which is why the picture of US Marines raising the flag over Iwo Jima is so famous. Anything from the island has value. The fact that it's a relic from, you know, one of the most famous battles in the Pacific, Battle of Iwo Jima, that's really interesting. What have you got in there?
We've got some war bonds.
Right.
A Japanese identity disc, but the most interesting thing here is this, it's a wound indicator.
Right. When a Japanese soldier was hurt in battle, his wound indicator, or toe tag, would be attached to a hand or a foot, giving details of his injury. If he was badly hurt, he might be left behind to be looked after by the Allies. But to be captured was shameful. So many wounded Japanese soldiers killed themselves instead. These things are really rare because that type of thing, look how thin it is, just didn't survive. But collectors like this type of thing because it's brand new, it's never been used. Actually, I think I could use this. My back's killing me. I'm going to have to stand up here. Would you be prepared to sell that to me?
For the right price.
Give me an idea, what would you like for that?
Well, what do you have in mind?
Oh, $20 US.
We were thinking of something like twice that, something like
$40?
Yeah.
I think more on 50.
Oh, hang on,
50 would
time
be
out
more
on
fair.
it. Who's in charge here? 40, 50. Look, I'll tell you what, $30, let's break the ice, come on. Save you all the trouble putting that on the internet. You know you want to.
You're the stuff, man.
Come on, $30, lovely. Right, well there, see, that's broken the ice
Yeah.
nicely, hasn't it? That's a lovely little starting pick. But now onto the real gem I spotted as soon as I arrived. The thing that I'm really interested in is that as a pair. Now, first of all, if that was on its own, it's a shell. But even better, and I'm being straight up with you,
Really good
is the cover. It's in good condition. It's very nice, and you can feel by how it's made. A lot of them didn't survive. So, have you got a good figure?
I was toying around the idea of around $1,000 to $900 probably.
It's a unique piece.
Yeah,
I know that.
Very unique.
Yeah, I
piece.
do know that.
Tropical issue.
Yes, I know.
Ojima.
Let's be sensible. I think that these two items together is about $500. 500.
500 is way low. I mean,
500. That's fair.
That's way too low.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I got $600 for the two.
Because you're taking both, 800 would be reasonable.
I want to get this wrapped up. I want to put it on because I'm absolutely boiling. I'll go $700 for the two.
700?
Sounds like a deal?
You got a deal.
Okay, lovely. That was easy. It wasn't too hard, was it? Japanese tropical issue helmets are rare, but one that's a relic from Iwo Jima. Well, I know people who go bananas for this. I love reenactors. They're not just interested in history. For them, it's a passion, which drives them to collect and preserve the most unlikely and surprising objects. I'm now dying to know what's in that box.
He wants to know what's in the box.
Show the guy box.
It's got Japanese writing on, so I'm
All
interested.
right, let me help you with that.
This is a Japanese artillery wind indicator. And the great thing about it is it's completely functional, as you can see.
Are all the bits there? Is it complete?
It's
Yes, we got the fins here.
Right.
complete. Put it right on there.
So that'll tell you the direction and the wind speed.
All the gauges are working.
Can I have a look, yeah? Oh, that's awesome. I like that. That's a bit of me, that
Beauty.
is. You got a nice on the front of my car, that would. Now, I'll tell you, this is a nifty little bit of kit. Its fancy name is an anemometer. It works out which way the wind is blowing and at what speed, so the Japanese artillerymen could compensate and adjust their sights accordingly. This clever, simple little device made an artillery gun more accurate and even more deadly. There's not a huge market for these by themselves, but it's the kind of add-on that will greatly enhance the value of the 91 howitzer that the twins are working on. Listen, look, straight away, let's, talk. How much would you want for that?
Best I can give you is $500.
I'll tell you what I'll do, put it in the box, I'll put it in my bag and take it home now, $300.
300?
Dollars on the hip I've got, come on.
All right.
Okay.
$300. There you go. See, that was easy. It wasn't hard, was it? I like that. Very nice. Beautifully made. Does it play tunes?
I wish.
I don't mind standing around in the blazing sun if it means I'll get access to goodies like this lot. I came over here to get rare and exclusive bits, and so far I'm coming up trumps. Right, Freddie, this is my official tester. What was the price? If I was to ask you how much this would be...
About $3,000.
3,000. Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Oh, let me guess who that is.
Pack your bags, you're flying to Australia. Freddie and I are working our fingers to the bone on our picking trip in the Philippines. We're now on a 3-hour schlep north of Manila to Talava on the hunt for more goodies. This looks like it. My new reenactor chums have put me on to more of their mates. That is how it works. These guys meet once a month to show off their kit and do a bit of swapping and dealing. That's a long way. Hope it's worth it. Oh,
It's
yeah.
a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Morning, gentlemen. Hello, my name's good-looking Bruce. Pleased to meet you. How you doing? All right? Very nice display you've got here. Is it okay to have a look round? Yeah. Yeah. Look at the grill on that. Very early war willies, that. Now, that's something you don't see. Bikes. Gentlemen, excuse me, who owns this bike here? Is it yours, sir, yeah? Would you be interested in selling that?
Yeah.
Yeah? For thousands of years, warfare involved cavalry and infantry. Then came along the bicycle. The Japanese, the Germans and other armies had whole bicycle regiments. The Americans were so good at mass-producing motor vehicles, they weren't as reliant on bikes, but they were still extensively used by dispatch riders and, of course, GIs taking local girls out to the pictures. Nudge, nudge. Genuine World War II American military bikes are now very rare, and so they're not cheap. Does it ride nice?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to try it, Freddie? This is my official tester.
Where's the gears? What was the brake?
You've just pedalled backwards. Yeah, look at that. That's it.
Brakes are good.
Are they?
Better than Cheeto's Jeep, anyway. Notice how Bruce made me do the test ride. He's got the balance of Humpty Dumpty. That saddle's a bit sharp.
It's very, very nice, and it's something I would love to have back in the UK. If I was to ask you how much this would be...
How about $3,000?
3,000? No, ooh, that's a lot of money. What about if I said to you $1,800? How's that?
How about $2,000?
$2,000?
Yeah.
How much is that?
Just tad over £1,300.
2,000 US dollars, yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the hat.
Oh, no.
These bikes are exceedingly rare in Europe, and an example as good as this one will bring in top dollar. Right, Freddie, look, that is a pair of Japanese army, right? It's binoculars, the original strap on it. And you see that company there?
Yeah.
That denotes that it's Nikon. The Japanese have always been good at optics. Nikon, now known for their cameras, was one of the largest producers of military binoculars for the Japanese army. In fact, they were so good at it, the Americans copied the design from captured examples. The Japanese were rumoured to have sold optics to the Nazis, smuggled over in submarines. They're actually very usable. Have a look at those. Now, you just don't see them. Standard Japanese Army issue.
They're quite clear, actually.
They are quite clear. That would make a great addition to any vehicle. Now, sir, what have you got here?
We got this little bag came from a Japanese soldier.
Right. I actually know a little bit about these. These are actually a personal item bag.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, postcards.
Oh, friend.
Fantastic. You know, these are beautifully, beautifully printed postcards. And on the back of a lot of these, you'll see this. This is a Japanese postal army mark. Mm-hmm. So it basically said free postal.
Oh, free postal.
So you were encouraged to write to your family.
Right.
They're actually brand new. Now, that, I can tell you straight away, that is a Japanese paybook. Now, these are interesting because this gives you the full history of a soldier. Everything that you did throughout your military career would be recorded in here. That's very, very nice. Now, this is a standard infantry instruction manual. Again, every army had them. It shows you which ranks apply to what badge and insignia you've got on. So it's a pocketbook size encyclopedia for somebody joining the Japanese Armed Forces. During the war, Japanese recruits were issued booklets like this. They covered topics like military philosophy, jungle survival, and maintaining good relations with the locals. Obviously, not many of them read it. The fact that you've got all these items in a personal bag here is very interesting. Would these items all be for sale for me?
Well, right now I just want to keep it, but if the price is right, why not?
It's all, yeah, the price is right. We have a television programme called that. You must have a figure that you think that you could offer them to me for. What would be the figure you've got in your mind?
I would say $750 US.
Just under 500 quid.
In all fairness, I think 750 is a bit high. How do you feel about 400 US dollars? How would that be?
$400.
Yeah.
If I say 500,
380 quid. I've got to be honest with you, $500 for these things, you got a deal. The trek up here was well worth it. These are good prices, and items like this will be very easy to shift. I'm back in Manila with Freddie, getting ready to go home. But I've just heard some gossip through the Militaria grapevine. Turns out a museum in Australia is shutting up shop and selling off a super rare Amtrak troop carrier from the Pacific campaign. So I need to phone home pronto.
Oh, really guess who that is?
Yeah. Hello?
It's the gorilla in Manila here.
How's things going out there?
Never mind that, I'm checking up on a house of restoration. Make sure that it's just a spruce up. I don't want to spend a lot of money on that.
No, we're not spending a great amount of money on it.
We're just going to paint it, that's all we're going to do. Great, because I've got a mission for you. I need your mechanical know-how.
Yeah.
Pack your bags, you're flying to Australia, so you better get that gun finished.
It'll look fine. Don't get your knickers in a twist.
I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye. OK, bye.
Australia? Well, Bruce treats us like a pair of kangaroos. He says jump, and we say how high.
Can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
No. Gonna get a blow over.
Look lovely.
We've only got a day before the flight leaves, so we can't hang about. We've just got to spray and pray. We're using the exact same colour that the Japanese army used 70 years ago. It's called scorched grass. It's more like dead grass.
Bearing in mind we've got no money, no time, it don't look too bad, does it really? It'll do.
Right, listen, this is the place they recommended. It's apparently it's a local Philippines traditional restaurant.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so...
Bloody starving.
Yeah, let's go in here, let's have a look in here. Freddie is getting ready to fly home with all my swag. But there's just time for one last celebratory slap-up feed. I've got to tell you, I know what the delicacies are here. There's some cracking things. You like hot, spicy things, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, just leave it to me. Trust me.
You have had this stuff before?
Yeah, lovely. When you're ready, Chief, we can order. We'll have a portion of this, because that's a bit spicy. That, some of them, portion of that, OK? And this one, crispy spiced, seasonal. You're in for an absolute treat here.
Yeah, I think we've earned it today, though, Bruce. Covered some miles.
Yes, very much so. Part of the joy of travelling for work is getting to tuck in to all the lovely local food. Nice, I like it, Adam. It's nice. Very nice.
No, I like all this fried stuff, yeah, it's nice.
I'm impressed with Freddie. He's normally a bit of an egg and chips man. Here we go, eyes down, look in. What is that? This is mine. This ain't yours.
Oh.
Right, lovely.
I'll just stick with me crispy beef or whatever it is I've got.
Yeah, I like here's yours here now.
It's
I've got you farmed crickets.
Crickets?
Yeah.
Is it like grasshoppers?
Yeah, grasshopper. That looks really nice. Come on. Like, I've steamed into this, you got to steam into that. How's that? How's that, all right? You've got to be quiet. You've got to be quiet. I can smell them from here. When you were fighting a guerrilla-style jungle war in the Pacific, you couldn't be too fussy about the food. You often had to make do with a bit of the local nosh. So I want Freddie to think of this as a bit of living history.
I'll swap you.
No, it's all right. All you got to do, there you go, one for the road, go on. It's got a few chilies in it though, isn't it? You know what I mean? Ooh. You're obviously right enjoying them. I'm confused. Freddie all said he loved cricket. Lovely. I'd have thought after 22 years in the Paris, Freddie could take anything. But this is his walk to loo. Or maybe run to the loo.
Just remind me never to go out for dinner with you ever, ever again.
Well, it's an experience, isn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, winning Rome and all that. That's an Amtrak, yeah?
There you go.
I float like a butterfly and fall on my backside. Listen, I ain't got a squiddly diddly how much this thing's worth.
I could come to 140,000 Australian.
To end my own Pacific campaign, I'm making a detour south to hook up with the twins in Oz. I've been told there's a private museum here in Queensland which is keen to offload a particularly exciting Pacific War military vehicle. Look, you can see straight away they got tons of stuff here. They're selling off an Amtrak, an amphibious tracked troop carrier. Super big, super beautiful and super rare. Norman!
You'd be Bruce.
That's it, mate. Nice to see you, all right? Listen,
Welcome to sunny North Queensland.
I've only just got in here and I'm excited already, right? You've got some tackle here, haven't you, eh? This is Nick, this is Phil.
Hi there. Hello.
Our dynamic duo.
Hello. Well, come on and have a closer look.
So what was the score? You've always been a museum, or?
Dad started it when he was in primary school.
Right.
And this is pretty much his effort, and then as we grew up, the family took it on with him. And this is what it's resulted in.
So it's aircraft, armour, artillery, everything. You've got a bit of
engines,
everything, yeah?
small items inside.
Ferrets, diamond tees, unbelievable stuff you've got
Saracens,
here. Yeah, Saracens. 2 years back, Norman's dad, Sid, passed away. And the family have decided to start selling off some of the collection. And I'm the first Brit with a checkbook that they've allowed in. I mean, aircraft in the back here you've got. I mean, a V1 you've got here. Continental. I'm excited as a fat man in Greg's here. I could buy it all, but I need to keep my eye on the prize. That's an Amtrak, yeah?
There you go.
Very, very, very nice. Not many of these up in Europe, I've got to be honest with you. One of the heroic contributions of the Australians in the Pacific War was the liberation of Borneo from the Japanese. The amphibious landing on the beaches of Balikpapan was the last big Allied assault of the Pacific War, and it remains the biggest ever Australian amphibious operation. They used the American Amtrak, which was first developed in 1935 as a civilian rescue vehicle. Does it run?
Yes, it does.
Could we hear it run?
Yes, you can.
There you go.
This beautiful beast has a 7-cylinder, 250 horsepower engine. This allowed it to carry 24 fully kitted out troops through the water at a majestic 12 kilometres per hour.
They're basically quite a simple engine. It's air-cooled, so you haven't got to worry about radiators or anything like that, so that makes it more reliable.
But 70-year-old Amtrak engines do need a bit of TLC. Oil can gather in the bottom cylinder, and if you fire it up straight away, you could blow the engine apart. It's always best to turn it over at least 20 times to pump the rogue oil out.
Turn it over as though you're trying to crank up your mother or something.
I've lost count now. I think that'll do it.
Pete's the man with the key.
It's got that touch.
A touch.
If this engine doesn't roar, we'll have come all this way for nothing. So far, so good. But now for the thing everyone buying a second-hand motor should do, a test drive. This is something special. I'm riding in an Amtrak that could have taken part in the famous Borneo campaign. That's great. Magic. Thanks, mate. Lower me down as though I'm MacArthur coming ashore on the Pacific. I float like a butterfly and fall on my backside. That's awesome, mate. That's absolutely awesome. I really want to buy this Amtrak, especially given its role in the war. This isn't just a machine, it's a big clanking bit of history. Listen, I ain't got a squiddly diddly how much this thing's worth, right? Right, I like it, but what you got to remember is we've got to get it back to the UK.
It's a nice old tub, but you don't want to be paying too much for it, do you?
It's a beautiful speedboat as far as my wife's concerned, right? Norman, I've got to be honest with you, I really like it. I've got a sort of figure in my mind, but I need to hear what sort of money you're looking for it.
Let's start at 150 Australian.
I mean, it's nice, it's a lot of vehicle. I see it more in the region of 120,000 Australian dollars. I mean, how's that?
I think that's a little bit light. It's a good vehicle.
Got to be a little bit of play. I mean, you know, what do you think?
Well, I could come to 140,000 Australian.
If we could agree now on 135,000, I'd be happy and I'd have a deal with you.
All right.
Yeah?
It's a deal.
Thanks, Norman. There you go. You got yourself a new speedboat.
Lovely.
And what I haven't told you is I ain't shipping it. You're actually swimming it up.
Save it back.
Lovely. It's true. What a finish to the Crompton Pacific campaign. Nearly 70 grand is a lot of wonga. But once this thing's in the UK, with a little TLC, I'll be out to retire. Time I finally headed home. I'm just glad to be back. I've got a mile of things to get sorted out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Japanese gun, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the colour's nice, I've got to be honest, yeah. But even better still, while I was out in Manila in Corregidor, I managed to find this. Look at this little thing here. This is like a wind speed indicator, Japanese wind speed indicator for artillery.
That's fantastic.
Look at that, in perfect condition, right? It's nearly the same colour as well.
Yeah.
Did you spend a lot of money on it?
No, no, it's just the cost of the paint, really.
No, well, I've got to tell you, it looks lovely. I'm really chuffed with it. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it.
No.
That's great, because what's even better now, I've got the history of this gun. It was captured in Burma, brought back for evaluation, right?
Yeah.
So we've got some provenance on it
right,
now,
excellent.
which is going to make it even better. So I'm a happy bunny today, believe me. The twins have come up trumps on the howitzer, and with my World War II Japanese wind gauge, it's easily worth 25 grand of anyone's money.
So, Freddie,
Now for a little treat I've prepared for everybody, to say thanks for all their hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. As a result of having a wonderful experience in the Philippines, you are going to eat some absolutely spectacular, different Bruce. Oh, God. Now, Freddie will be very familiar with this, as it is something that he enjoyed while we were out there. And with that, I will present to you cricket and rice. Oh, God! Bruce! This is what we had out there. Okay? Don't be shy, there's plenty more where that come from. I'm trying to infuse you into the culture of the places we're going. Go on, try it.
You ready for this?
Cricket, go on. Look, all right, mate?
damn, bad as it goes.
Lunch is never boring round here.
Milk, come back again.
Spicy local food, I mean, I'm only kidding with them. I've got proper chow ordered and plenty of it. How else would I thank such a dedicated, hard-working bunch? I'll give thanks for the Philippines and thanks for Australia. We've had a cracking little trip. Now, I can promise you, this is straightforward sake. Here's to the future. Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers. And ladies. Thank you. Talk about having your cake and eating it. Nice, I'm really pleased with that. Sounds like a deal.
You got a deal.
My week's picking in the Philippines was spot on. Done. There you go. This is very nice. And a surprise detour to Australia for an Amtrak was the cherry on the cake. That's absolutely awesome.
But that hot sauce on that too,
Plus all my loyal, hard-working staff and family got a culinary adventure of their own.
What's wrong with you?
Spicy local food.